Well, once again, thanks for coming down to Johnny D's tonight. And thanks for Paul Kahn for that nice little opening set there. It's a tremendous honor to have this gentleman who's sitting on the stage here with us tonight. He's been nominated for numerous Grammys. He was invited to the White House. Am I right about that? Invited down to the White House. He's got a Medal of Arts and many, many other things. He's a great singer of very fine traditional songs. Please welcome Ramblin' Jack Elliott.
I got the blues from my baby, let me find her San Francisco Bay. Turking ocean liner, she gone so far away. Didn't mean to treat her so bad. She was the best gal I ever had. She said goodbye like it made me cry. I want to lay down and die. I haven't got a nickel and I ain't got a lousy dime, no guitar. Now, she don't come back and think I'm gonna lose my mind. She ever come back to stay, spend another brand new day, walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Sitting down looking from my back door, wondering which way to go. Woman I'm so crazy about, she don't want me no more. Think I'll take me a freight train, because I'm feeling blue. Ride all the way to the end of the line, thinking only of you. Live a while in another city, just about to go insane. Sounds like I heard my baby, way she used to call my name. If she ever come back to stay, spend another brand new day, walking with my baby. With my baby, riding, gliding, driving, jiving, talking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Written by Jesse Fuller, the one-man band from Oakland. We're on tour. This is my annual mud season New England tour. I think I'm a little bit behind schedule because usually when come to New England, it's still kind of like winter, but the weather's been so funny these last couple of years. Usually it's cold and rainy and snowy. Now it's been sunny and warm and everything. I just got a call from Roy Rogers, not Roy Rogers, the singing cowboy. He split. But Roy Rogers, the blues man, who's my record producer, he said I'm supposed to call Karsten in Denmark, and they're going to invite Daryl Adams and me to this folk festival up in Denmark while I'm in Switzerland and Germany on this next tour coming up in a few weeks. And I haven't been able to get Roy in the studio or at home. He's running around. He's the studio where we record is on a chicken farm, and Roy is running around like a chicken with his head cut off. He's very busy. He's got a band and he has several other recording projects that he does. He produced my recent album that I'm not selling tonight because we didn't have room for all the CDs in our luggage. I'm sorry, but I hope you can get a copy of it at your local record store or a furniture store. It's called Friends of Mine. It has people on it like Guy Clark. Yeah, you heard it? Thank you. That was done all thanks to Roy and his auspices. He knows how to crack the whip because I'm known as a lazy, no good recording studio artist. I like to have an audience when I'm playing. And recording studios are a lonesome kind of place. It's just you and the engineer, you know, and a glass window between the two. You can't even hear what he's saying. And you have to try it again and again and again to get it right. In here, I just try and do the best I can, and whatever happens, happens. Can't have that kind of an attitude in a recording studio. They want perfection. Daryl Adams has been very ill, and I heard he couldn't play the banjo anymore. Last time I saw him in Belgium a couple of years ago, he wasn't able to play, and I played a special gig for him in a little bar in Brussels, and the place was just jam-packed with Daryl Adams fans and friends. Got him up on stage, and we told a couple of stories, and I think he did harmonize on one song with me, but he couldn't play the banjo. So the thought of going to Denmark at a big folk festival with him, I don't know if it's really going to happen or not. They may not know that Daryl is. So he'll, or maybe they know something I don't know, and this is going to be a thrill. Here's a song that Daryl used to play. It's called The Cuckoo. It's kind of an old mountain ballad. Daryl played it on the banjo. Well, the cuckoo is a pretty bird, and she warbles if she flies, but she never says cuckoo till the 5th day of July. Jack of diamonds, well, I know you of old. Yeah, I wrap my whole pocket with that silver and gold. I'll build me a cabin on a mountain so high, so I can say, well, as she goes passing by. Oh Willie, I'm afraid of your ways. Your mind is too gambling and lead me astray. Stories about Darrell. I met him in Topanga Canyon, and when Woody Guthrie and I drove out there with two other people, 4 musicians in one little Buick. What a trip. Well, it took us 4 days to get to California. Billy Fair was driving. He drove all the way. Hogged the wheel, I'd say. He let me drive a little ways through part of the early part of the trip, but then never again. He just hogged the wheel. But hey, we were glad to be getting on our way to California. I spent the summer out there at Topanga Canyon. Woody was buying a place out there, and I left him wrapped up in a tent up there on a cliff on this piece of property that he's buying, and I went down to look for my old friend Frank Hamilton down at the theater that Will Gear had built a couple of miles up the canyon, and it got dark, and it was a treacherous piece of ground to walk on in the dark, so I stayed overnight at Will's theater and went back looking for Woody the next day, but Woody disappeared. He's gone. Didn't see him again until I went back to the East Coast about a year later. Meantime, I met Darrell Adams there that summer, toward the end of summer. He was kind of a legendary banjo player that was rumored to be living in a cave somewhere up in the canyon. I recognized him right away just by his description. I walked right up to him when I saw him. I said, "You're Darrell Adams, huh?" They're building a freight train here in the backyard. I hope they get the caboose hitched on pretty quick. Anyway, I walked up to Darrell and I said, "Hey, you're Darrell Adams." He says, "Yup." I said, "Do you have your banjo with you?" "Nope." "Yeah, well, Bess Haas has a banjo. We could maybe borrow it. Would you play on Bess's banjo?" "Yep, I suppose so." I could tell that we were going to be fast friends. This conversation. Now we got the banjo, and I said, "Well, what do you know? Do you know the Muleskinner Blues?" "Yep." Now I really was getting along great with him. And I knew that for the next 3 years anyway, we were going to have a great time together. And we did. And the Muleskinner Blues became like our theme song. That was the first thing that we... Is there a door on that? Okay. Muleskinner Blues was the first song that we sang together, and it was like we've been rehearsing it for years. Good morning, Captain. Good morning, Captain. I know it's around here somewhere. Good morning, Captain. Good morning to you, Shine. Good morning, Captain. Good morning, Shine. You need another Muleskinner out on your new road line. Get a lady. Working on that new road, $1 and a dime a day. Working on that new road, make $1 and a dime a day. I got 3 women waiting on a Saturday night just to draw my pay. I'm rolling all the time. I think a little reverb would be welcome. I like to work. I'm rolling all the time. I can pop my initials on a mule's behind. Hey, little water boy, bring your water round. Hey, water boy. I wonder if I could have a little bit more of Johnny Cash and a little bit less of Tiny Tim. Bring your water round. If you don't like your job, set that water bucket down. Good morning, Captain. Morning to you, Shine. Hi, hi. Good morning, Captain. Good morning to you, Shine. Do you need another Muleskinner out on the new road line? Every That's why I don't smoke Marlboros. Hey! Now, I don't know whether he smokes cigarettes anymore or not, but Shell Silverstein, my friend, has passed away the other day here, and I was shocked to learn it because I was always meaning to write him a letter, and I saw Chris Christopherson about 2 years ago when he was up there in San Francisco, and we went down to town to see him play, and he said, write Shell a letter. And I said, I will. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And I started to write a letter to Shell, and the telephone rang, or a boat came by, or some truck came in the driveway. I got distracted. Never did finish that letter to Shell. So I wrote him one yesterday. To Shell 16 in heaven from Ramblin Jack in New York. It was in New York City. Seemed like every time I go to New York City, somebody I love passes away. It's kind of a strange place. It's getting stranger all the time. It was especially weird not to see any garbage on the streets. I met Shell in Rome about one day, about 1957 or so. We were on our way to Greece, my wife and I, in a motor scooter on a Vespa. Shell was carrying a big cardboard thing with art under his arm, you know, one of those big black folders with a big ribbon around it. He was wearing a flat-brimmed, high, flat-topped Spanish hat and a beard, and I couldn't mistake him, but I didn't know who he was. I didn't read Playboy magazine in those days. And I was having some spaghetti in the Taverna Marguta, in the Via Marguta little back alley. And Shell happened by, and he saw my guitar that was kind of stuck under the corner of the table. And he saw the guitar sticking out there, and he came over singing a very weird version of the Wabash Cannonball with the most frightening voice I've ever heard in daylight. From the great Atlantic Ocean to the wide Pacific shore. And that was Shel Silverstein. That's how we met. And we had a little wine together and walked around the park and wrote a song. We wrote a hillbilly song. I haven't written many songs in my life. Maybe 5 or 40 years. That was my first attempt at songwriting. I don't think we ever recorded it. Yeah, it was a darn funny song, too. I can't remember now how it goes. Then he wrote the album notes for an album I did in New York on Vanguard label. Very detailed notes, too. He remembered every detail. Talked about, you know how he writes, big long captions with his cartoons. He was then on an airplane ticket around the world, and he broke the ticket in London for about 2 months. Then he went to Paris for 6 months, and he went to Rome for 6 months. And he was slowly working his way around the world on this airplane ticket that Playboy magazine had bought for him. I think it took him 3 years to get around the world. And all the time he was mailing in his cartoons back to Playboy magazine. Try to get in a romantic mood here. Here's one. If this don't work, nothing will. I learned this off a Bob Dylan record when I was snowed in a mountain cabin in Pennsylvania. Couldn't get the door open for 3 days. It snowed so hard, but we had a big bottle of Cuddy's Sark, you know, with the square rigger on the label and refrigerator full of venison, and this Bob Dylan record. Kept playing the record over and over. And I finally learned a new song. And I went and sung it in New York. When the snow melted, we got in a Bell telephone truck and drove up to New York. They were having a little open night there in the Gaslight. And a very dark, kind of subterranean little place. Only held about 70 people packed in.
And there was Peter and Paul. Mary was out shopping. Ed McCurdy, Peter Lafarge, Dave Van Ron, Bob Dylan, the author, and a few unidentified tourists from New Jersey. And I started singing a song that I just learned up there up in the mountain. And I was singing, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right. And all of a sudden I saw Bob standing there in the darkness. I could just see him lightly by the halo. He waved his arm at me and said, I relinquish it to you, Jack. I've been singing it ever since.
Choice B.
Well, actually, I like the noise and getting used to it and getting tuned up with it. It gives me something to lean on. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. If then you don't know by now. And it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on, but don't think twice, it's alright. And it ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, like you never done before. Ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, 'cause I can't hear you anymore. Thinking and wondering, walking down the road, how I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I give her my heart, but she wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's alright. And it ain't no use in turning on your light, babe, the light I never knowed. Ain't no use in turning on your light, babe, 'cause I'm on the dark side of the road. Still, I wish there was something you would do or say to try and make me change my mind and stay. You never did too much talking anyway, but don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey babe, where I'm bound, I can't tell. Goodbye is too good a word, babe, so I'll just say fare thee well. not saying you treated me unkind. Could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. But don't think twice, it's all right. Tour. He tours all the time. He loves being out on the road. I don't know if he really loves being on the road or if he just can't stay home. I heard a rumor recently from somebody who knows Bob. I used to know him. I don't really know him anymore. I haven't seen him in several years now. But I know somebody that sees him every once in a while said that he has to keep touring because people just don't leave him alone when he's home. They keep pestering him. And he has to go on the road to find privacy. Because he's got plenty of privacy when he's on the road. With his bus and his crew. The faithful. Well, Woody, that guy I was riding in the car with, I palled around with him for about 4 years, and it was the last 4 years of his free rambling before he got too sick to travel anymore, up until 1954. And he went in the hospital, spent the next 13 years going downhill. I think we're picking up an SOS. Anybody here know Morse code? I think they struck an iceberg. Better phone the Coast Guard. Where was it? Woody. Oh, it's a recipe for curry. Getting all kinds of wonderful messages in it. And Woody wrote this song. It was called The Talkin' Sailor, about his adventures going across the Atlantic on a cruise liner known as a Liberty ship. And they didn't have too many passengers. They had a Navy gun crew of about 10 kids. And there were only about 4 50 caliber cannons on the ship, 2 on the bow and 2 on the stern. Cisco Houston was his buddy that they sang together on street corners and bars, and they shipped out in the Merchant Marine together. Would you kindly switch channels? Woody wrote this song about it. It's called Talkin' Sailor. Said to the woman just singing the blues, I heard the radio telling the news. Said the big red army took 100 towns of allies, dropping them 2-ton bombs. Started a hollering, yelling, dancing up and down like a bullfrog. Doorbell rung and in come a man. I signed my name. I got a telegram. Says you want to take a vacation trip. Got a dishwashing job on a Liberty ship. Woman a crying, me flying out the door and down the line. About 2 minutes, I run 10 blocks, come to my ship down to the dock. I walked up the plank and I signed my name, blowed that whistle, was gone again. Right on out and down the stream, ships just as far as my eye could see. Woman a-waiting. This ship floated down with TNT all out across the rolling sea. I stood on the deck, watched the fishes swim. I was praying them fish wasn't made out of tin. Sharks, porpoises, jelly beans, rainbow trouts, mud cats, jugars, all over that water. I walked to the tail, I stood on the stern, looking at the big brass screw blade turn. I listened to the sound of the engine pound, gained 16 feet every time. Went around, getting closer and closer. Look out, you fascists. Well, I'm just one of a merchant crew, belong to union called the NMU. I'm a union man from head to toe. I'm a USA and CIO, fighting out here on the waters to win some freedom on the land. To bring up in a little while and let you hear him sing a couple of songs. He's an old pal of Arlo Guthrie's, and he's spent a lot of time with Arlo. He even served time with Arlo. But first of all, I'd like to sing one more little ditty for you. This is a song by Tim Harden, who also had spent some time here in Boston and Cambridge. That was before I knew him, and I met Tim in New York in a wild and woolly period of his career, and we didn't get to know each other then. It was a little bit too much going on, but later I met him out in California. Things were a little bit more relaxed in Los Angeles, and we got to sit down and talk a little bit. Tim wrote this song. It's called If I. I remember having a big crush on this gal that sang If I. She sang with the Velvet Underground. Her name was Nico. And I thought, if I could just get a job singing with the Velvet Underground. Just for 1 or 2 nights. That could be like a goal. And it came true. If you pray for anything long enough, it'll come to you. Soon I landed this gig to play one weekend with the Velvet Underground and Nico in this little place down in the East Village, a place called the Dome, D-O-M. And I met with some of the musicians in the group, and they taught me the chords for some of their songs so we could play together. And I got to hang out with Nico a little bit. But she was not interested in me. She had a big crush on the author of the song, Tim Harden. golly, we hadn't even become friends yet. Already he was getting in the way. But as it turned out, and she really, we just couldn't get to first base, but I did enjoy a very musical weekend with the Velvet Underground, and later got to know Tim Hardin a little bit. And here's the song. It's called If I Listen Long Enough to You. If I listen long enough to you, I'd find a way to believe it's all true. Knowing that you lied straight-faced while I cried, still I look to find a reason to believe someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else. Someone like you makes it easy to give help for thinking about myself. If I gave you time to change my mind, I'd find a way to leave the past behind. Straight-faced while I cried, still I look to find a reason to believe someone like you makes it hard to live without somebody else. Someone like you makes it easy to give everything about myself. Guitar player, great driver, and old friend of my old friend, Arlo Guthrie. Rick Robbins, would you come up and honor us with a song, please? We're going to unplug. I won't unplug. I'll leave it alone. I'll set this one. Thank you, Jack. Rick Robbins. Thank you very much. I'd like to do a Woody Guthrie song for you. This is one that he never recorded. I guess he never recorded a lot of songs. He wrote over 1,000 of them. It's called East Texas Red. Guitar keeps going in and out on the monitor, like there's a short circuit or something. Disappears and it comes back.
plug it in on the acoustic guitar. Down in the scrub oak timber of the southeast Texas Gulf, there used to ride a brakeman, and a brakeman double tough. He worked the town of Kilgore and Longview 9 miles down, and us travelers called him East Texas Red, the meanest bull around. He rode by night, by broad daylight, in the wind and the snow and sun. You'd always see little East Texas Red sporting his smooth running gun. Well, the tail got switched on the stems and the mains, and everybody said that the meanest man on the shiny irons was little East Texas Red. It was early in the morning and along towards 9 or 10 when a couple of boys on the hunt of a job stood in the blizzardy wind. Hungry and cold, they knocked on the doors of the working folks around for a piece of meat or a spud or two to boil their stew around. Red come down the cinder dump and he flagged down number 2. He kicked their bucket over a bush and he dumped out all of their stew. One traveler said, Mr. East Texas Red, you better get your business fixed right, because you're gonna ride your little black train just 1 year from tonight. Well, Red just laughed as he climbed the bank and he swung on the side of a wheeler. The boys caught a tanker to Seminole and westward to Amarillo. They struck them a job of oil field work and followed the pipeline down. And it took them lots of places till 1 year had rolled around. It was on a cold and wintry day they hooked them a Gulf-bound train. They shivered and they shook with snow in their clothes to old Kilgore again. Over hills of sand and hard froze roads where the cotton wagons rode. Out past the town of Kilgore and on to old Longview. With their warm suits of clothes and their overcoats, they walked into a store. They paid a man for some meat and stuff to boil their stew once more. They walked the ties back to the yard and they come to the same old spot where East Texas Red just 1 year ago had dumped their last stew pot. Smoke from their fire went higher and higher, and a man come down the line. He ducked his head in the blizzardy wind and he waved old number 9. He walked off down that cinder dump and he come to the same old spot. There was the same 2 men again around that same stew pot. Red went to his knees and he hollered, please don't pull that trigger on me. I never did get my business fixed, but Red never had his say. A gun wheeled out of an overcoat and it played the old one too. Red lay dead while the other 2 men sat down to eat their stew. Jack, you disappeared. Mind if I drink some water, Jack?
Thank you. Here's another shorter Woody Guthrie song. It's called Those Brown Eyes. The other night when the sun was low, brown eyes whispered, I must go. Not 1 minute could she wait. She kissed my cheek and she left my gate. Those brown eyes that I loved so well, those brown eyes I long to see. How I long for those brown eyes, strangers they have grown to be. Last night I passed her on the street. Another man was by her side. When I bowed my head 'cause I could not speak, I thought soon she'd be his bride. Those brown eyes I loved so well, those brown eyes I long to see. For those brown eyes, strangers they have grown to be. There's a little known song by Bob Dylan. It's called Walking Down the Line. Walking down the line, walking down the line. Walking down the line, feet will be flying, tell you about my troubled mind. Seen the morning light, morning light. It ain't because I'm an early riser, I didn't get to sleep last night. I'm walking down the line, walking down the line, walking down the line, feet will be flying, tell you about my troubled mind. Got a heavy-headed gal, heavy-headed gal. A heavy-headed gal ain't feeling too well. She gets better on the time can tell. I'm walking down the line, walking down the line, walking down the line. Feet will be flying, tell you about my troubled mind. Money comes and goes, comes and goes. It comes and goes, it rolls and flows. It rolls and flows through the holes in the bottom of my clothes. I'm walking down the line, walking down the line, walking down the line. Feet will be flying, tell you about my troubled mind. Got my walking shoes, walking shoes, walking shoes. Ain't gonna lose, I believe I got the walking blues. I'm walking down the line, walking down the line, walking down coast? Oh, hey, that's a big coast. I mean, you know what I mean? I'll do that. Yes. I won't take a drink until I get into the middle of the South Coast. It's a long song. Person might get the words. This, Oh, yeah. Could do them both together. South Buffalo Trail Coast. Let's see, how would that go? They both have minor chords in them. My name is Muleskinner Blues. I found myself in Griffin in the year of '83. But I won my wife in a card game. To hell with those lords or the sea. It's going to be a long night. Thank you. It's okay if I do the South Coast first and Buffalo Skinners later?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. We'll get on to it. My name is Thomas de Castro. My father was a Spanish grandee. But I won my wife in a card game. To hell with those lords or the sea. Well, the South Coast is a wild coast and lonely. You might win in a game at hold on. But a lion still rules the barranca. A man there is always alone. In my youth, I had a Monterey homestead. Fields, creeks, mountains, all mine. And I built me a snug little shanty. And I roofed it and floored it with pine. I had a bronco, buckskin. Like a bird, he flew over the trail. When I'd ride out 40 miles every Friday for some grub and to pick up my mail. Well, the South Coast is a wild coast and lonely. You might win in a game at hold on. But a lion still rules the barranca. and the man there is always alone. I sat in a card game at Holon. Played there with an hombre named Juan. After I'd won all his money, I staked all against his daughter, Dawn. Dawn, he opened the door to the kitchen. I picked up the ace. I had won her. My heart, which was down at my feet, jumped up to my throat in a hurry. Like a young summer's day, she was sweet. He opened the door to the kitchen and called the girl in with a curse, saying, "Take her. God damn you, you won her. She's yours now, for better or worse." Her arms had to tighten around me as we rode up the hills from the south. Not a word did I get from her that day, nor a kiss from her pretty red mouth. We soon reached the valley at twilight. The stars twinkled out over the coast. She soon loved the valley and the orchard, but I knew that she loved me the most. And that was a glad, happy winter. We carved on a cradle of pine by the fire in that neat little shanty, and I sang with that gay wife of mine. The South Coast is a wild coast and lonely. You might win in a game at Boulogne, but a lion still rules the barranca, and a man there is always alone. That night I got hurt in a landslide. Crushed hip and twice broken bone. She saddled her pony like lightning and rode off for a doctor at Holon. The lion screamed in the barranca. Bucky bolted and fell on the slide. My young wife lay dead in the moonlight. My heart died that night with my pride. Well, the South Coast is a wild coast and lonely. You might win in a game at Boulogne, but a lion still rules the barranca, and a man there is always authorize anybody to video over doing home video. Speaker, I got it. Sorry, sir, there's no video on it here. I don't care what it is, honey. I don't like cameras.
Doing great.
Nobody spoke to me about it. Sorry. Sorry, Amy. I'm over time anyway, but I will do that one for you.
Thank you.
What was it?
Where'd you learn this song?
What is this song? I haven't found out what it is yet. Oh, Buffalo Skinners. I don't remember where I learned that song, but it was an old songbook, yeah, a cowboy songbook. I just come back from a little rodeo trip. I was 15 years old, and I heard cowboys playing the guitar. I didn't know cowboys played the guitar. I knew Gene Autry knew how to play. And we had an old clown on that show that played guitar and banjo. The journalist got it all wrong. Somebody got their wires crossed, and I read a million stories where I learned to play the banjo from this old rodeo clown. I didn't learn to play the banjo at all from nobody. I still don't know how to play a banjo. But he played the banjo really fine, and he played guitar real good and sang like Grandpa Jones. His name was Bramer Rogers, and he worked them Bramer bulls and clowned while the cowboys were trying to ride the bulls. So he was one of my first inspirations, and I bought a guitar right after that. And I got this cowboy songbook that had Red River Valley in it. I think that was the first song I ever learned to play right out of that book, Red River Valley. It had the chords. And it had this song in it, too. But I didn't really learn it out of the book. In fact, it seemed like a real boring song to me at the time. And according to the way the book had it, it went... I was in the town of Jacksboro in the spring of '73. A man by the name of Kriego come walking up to me. And I just couldn't get into that. But later I was hanging out with Woody, and Woody had recorded this song, and he had a record of it on the floor. Arlo had a big stack of these old 78s that he used to get up on the piano stool, kind of to step on them. Sometimes they would break. Woody didn't seem to mind. They were priceless old 78s. But Woody believed in raising kids by the rough, do-it-yourself, learn from your own mistakes kind of way. And so this one was down deep on the bottom of the stack, and it didn't get broken. I found it played it. It was wonderful way Woody sang it in a kind of a minor key, but he was playing a C major chord, and I couldn't figure out how he did that. So I asked him. Woody wasn't big on teaching. He said it was all right for me to just watch it real careful and steal anything I could. That was all right. That's the way he learned from Leadbelly. Well, I asked him, how do you play that? And he just wasn't in a musical mood that day. And he says, that's on the record, Jack. So I dug up that record, which was in that pile, and I listened to it about 100 times. And all I could come up with is kind of my own misconstrued version of it. And Alan Lomax claims that it's way too Hollywood. But someone else told me it was more like Reno. But where he heard it was in Elko, Nevada, at a cowboy poetry gathering. But this is the song that I tried to learn off of Woody's own record over in Brooklyn, 1951. It's called Buffalo Skinners. Come all you old-time cowboys and listen to my song. Please do not grow weary, I'll not detain you long. Concerning some wild cowboys that did I agree to go spend one summer pleasant on the trail of Buffalo. Well, I found myself in Griffin in the year of '83 when a well-known famous drover come walking up to me saying, how do you do, young fellow, where how'd you like to go and spend one summer pleasant on the trail of Buffalo? Me being out of work right down to this drover, I did say, this going out on the Buffalo Road depends upon your pay. But if you pay good wages, transportation to and fro, think I might go with you on the hunt of Buffalo. Yes, I will pay good wages, transportation too, if you'd agree to work for me until the season's through. But if you do grow homesick and you try to run away, you'll starve to death out on the trail and also lose your pay. Well, with all this flattering talking, signed up quite a train. Some 10 or 12 in number, some able-bodied men. Our trip, it was a pleasant one as we hit the westward road until we reached Old Boggy Creek in old New Mexico. Well, it was there our pleasures ended and our troubles all begun. A lightning storm had hit us and made the cattle run. I got all full of stickers from the cactus that did grow outlaws watching trying to pick us off from the hills of Mexico. Well, our working season ended and the drover would not pay. You went and drunk too much, you're all in debt to me. But
But the cowboys never had heard of such a thing as a bankrupt law. So he left that. Drovers, bones to bleach on the plains of the buffalo.
Thank you very much. It's nice to hear those words, those kind words, exciting words. I was on a TV show. They did this Sunday morning thing. It actually took them 3 years to film that 9-minute segment that you saw in Medicine Sunday morning. And first of all, they filmed the first segment of it. I wouldn't mind one of those. In a little club in Martha's Vineyard Island. And as we were on the ferry going over to Martha's Vineyard, I saw this beautiful big 3-masted schooner which belongs to Paul McCartney, and I recognized the boat because I'd seen her once before in Newport. And I was on the dock alongside the vessel, didn't get to go aboard. I've never met Paul McCartney, but he gave me some nice credit on a record where he sang the San Francisco Bay Blues. Said he learned it from my record of it. I could have referred him to Jesse Fuller, who did it much better. The original was nice of him to credit me, San Francisco Bay Blues. But I was really excited when I saw that big 200-foot schooner heading for the dock. Actually, she was too big to come alongside the dock. They dropped anchor out in the fairway, and a little launch went speeding to the shore, and we were watching from the ferry. And they were going to buy tickets to my show. I just knew it. They were playing in this little coffee house there in Martha's Vineyard. And we got to the club, and everything was very warm and friendly there. A little tiny club. And Ayana had sent a film crew to film me there, and the Sunday morning CBS show had their film crew there too, so there was 2 film crews and cameras and lights and all that stuff. And I don't like cameras, but I was dealing with it. It was okay. We had to do this. It was for the good. And someone saw Paul McCartney outside, but when he saw those TV cameras, he freaked and he never came in, and I never met him. He watched part of the show through the window from outside in the street. Later, they filmed me again down in Nashville when we were doing something down there with Emmylou Harris, and then they came to Washington, D.C., and they were pretty, it was always kind of an annoyance, but okay, we did it again, and did an interview in front of the camera, answering questions and so forth. And then they got me out in California, San Francisco, and they put it all together, and they saved like the best 11 seconds from Martha's Vineyard, the best 20 seconds from Washington, D.C., the best 2 minutes from Nashville, and they put it all together. It was 9 minutes long and played it on the Sunday morning show I got to watch it on a neighbor's TV. I don't have TV where I live. Can't get it. Can't get the news. If I want to know what the weather is going to be, I just look out the window. Here it comes. And being right on the coast, we get the weather before anybody else does. I guess I got pretty much early warning on the weather. I don't need to depend on the television. Anyway, they're usually wrong about 90% of the time in their weather predictions. I went down to the fishing hole and I carried along my fishing pole. Something got my hook, grabbed my bait, and jerked me out in the middle of the lake. Some jump. I got some baptized on the credit. Fishing down in a muddy bank, and I felt a pull and I gave a big yank, and I jerked out to rubber boots and a Ford radiator and a Chevrolet coupe and handed them in for national defense. You go fishing, I'll tell you what to do. Just sit right down in the grassy dew, take a piece of string and tie it on your pole and throw it way out in the middle of the hole. And just find a good shade tree and sit down and go to sleep. Forget all about it. I was sitting in the boat with a bucket of beer and I hadn't caught nothing and much care. I guess I was pretty well satisfied. Had my little lady right by my side, taking it easy. Worm done gone off that hook for a couple hours. I jumped in the river and I went down deep. There's 100-pound catfish laying there asleep. I jumped on his back, rode him into town, saddled him up, and then I went to town. Waded across to a sandy bar and I caught myself a big alligator gar and I drug him home across my back. Tail was dragging 1.5 miles, flipping and flopping. Sold him for a quarter. Got drunk. Shot craps. Got in jail. Waded across to a sandy bar and I caught myself a big alligator gar and I drug him home across my back. Tail was dragging. I said that. I know I never forget an alligator gar when I see him again. Early one morning I took me a notion to go out fishing in the middle of the ocean and I caught myself a great big shark. Didn't get him home till way past dark. He's a man-eater. Tough customer. Just wasn't quite tough enough. Early one morning I took me a notion to go out fishing in the middle of the ocean. Caught myself a great big shark. Didn't get him home till way past dark. He's a man-eater. Egg beater. Back streeter. tasting sweeter. Late last night I had me a dream. I was out fishing in the whiskey stream and I baited my hook with applejack. I'd throw out a drink, bring a gallon back. I'd done pretty good till the stream run dry. So I give the fish back to the finance company. I've never been a real fisherman. I've gone fishing, I've tried to fish, I've tried to catch fish. Never was very successful at it. Well, once or twice I caught one. I figure when I retire I'm going to sell my guitar and buy a commercial fishing boat. And I'll learn how to catch fish. There's got to be more money in that than there is in this. Here's one I used to sing with Bob Weir. I'm a whining boy, don't deny my name. Whining boy, don't deny my name. Whining boy, don't deny my name. Just pick it up and shake it like Sweet Stevens J. 'Cause I'm the whining boy, don't deny my name. Mama, 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 look at sis. Mama, 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 look at sis. Mama, mama wants to look at sis. She's out on the levee doing the double twist. I'm the whining boy, don't deny my name. Sister, sister, dirty little sound. Sister, sister, dirty little sound. Sister, sister, dirty little sound. She's trying to be a bad girl, but she don't know how. I'm the whining boy, don't deny my name. a Dixie and a boomer shack, just a little shanty by the railroad track. And the humming of the drivers was my lullaby. Freight train whistle taught me how to cry. Got the freight train blues. Lordy, Lordy, I got 'em in the bottom of a rambling ship. Oh, when a whistle blows, I gotta go. Oh, Lordy, I guess I'm never gonna lose these freight train blues. My daddy was a fireman and my mama, dear, was the only daughter of an engineer. My sister loves a brakeman and it is no joke. It's a wonder how she cooked a good man broke. Got the freight train blues. Lordy, Lordy, I got 'em in the bottom of a rambling ship. When the whistle blows, I gotta go. Oh, Lordy, guess I'm never gonna lose this freight train blues. Well, I ramble through the cities and travel through the towns and never can find a place to stop and settle down. Every time I find a place I like to stay, freight train hollers and I'm on my way. Got the freight train blues. Got 'em in the bottom of a rambling ship. When the whistle blows, you gotta know, Lordy. Oh, John Marshall, old Peter Throckmorton, I guess I'm never gonna lose these freight train blues. When I was a lad, and old Shep was a pup, over hills and mountains we'd stray. Just a boy and a dog, we were both full of fun. We grew up together that way. I remember the time by the old swimming hole when I would have drowned beyond doubt. That old Shep was there, and to the rescue he came. He jumped in and helped pull me out. The years rolled on by and old Sheppy grew old. His eyesight was fast growing dim. Then one day the doctor looked at him and said, "I can't do no more for him, Jim. and with hands that were trembling I picked up my gun. I aimed it at Shep's faithful head, but I just couldn't do it. I wanted to run. I wish they would shoot me instead. I went to his side and I sat on the ground. Old Shep laid his head on my knee. And I stroked the best pal a man ever had. I cried till I scarcely could see. For old Sheppy, he knew he was going to go. He reached down and licked at my hand. Then he looked up at me just as much as to say, we're parting, but I understand. Now old Sheppy, he's gone with the good doggies go. And tomorrow with old Shep will I roam. But if dogs have a heaven, there's one thing I know. Old Shep has a wonderful home. Canada one time, and there was chairs flying around the room. Somebody offended somebody. One person was weeping and crying over there, and the people over at the other table right next to him were laughing. I think that's what set it off. Somebody thought it was a joke. Vancouver's a pretty stupid town that way. I have them fighting over "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right." They don't like those mysterious, subtle song. The commercial fishermen and the loggers. Any chance to have a battle royale. Here's a song by Woody Guthrie. It's called Pastures of Plenty.
Yeah.
It's a mighty hard road that my poor hands hold. My 4 feet has traveled a hot, dusty road, and out of the dust bowl and westwards we rolled, and the desert was hot and the mountains was cold. Green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground, from the Grand Coulee Dam where the waters run down. Every state in this union, us migrants has been. We'll work in your fight, and we'll fight till we win. Well, it's always we ramble that river and down along your green valley I will work till I die. And this land I'll defend with my life if it be, because my pastures of plenty must always be free. green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground. From the Grand Coulee Dam where the waters run down. Every state in this union us migrants has been. We'll work in your fight and we'll fight till we win. Well, it's always we'd ramble that river and I. Down along the old Green Valley I will work till I die. In this land I'll defend with my life if it be, 'cause my pastures of plenty must always be free. Ramblin' Jan over there.
Ask your daughter what she wants to say.
Yeah, you got any requests there, Alana? My daughter who's filming this thing. This is not the National Biscuit Company.
You guys remember her? Roll on, buddy.
Roll on, buddy.
That's
A song that Daryl and I used to sing. Roll on, buddy, roll on. Roll on, buddy, roll on. Wouldn't roll so slow if you knew what I know. And it's roll on, buddy, roll on. I got a home in Tennessee. I got a home in Tennessee. I got a home in sunny Tennessee. And it's roll on, buddy, roll on. Roll on, buddy, roll on. Wouldn't roll so slow if you knew what I know. And it's roll on, buddy, roll on. Tempe wants $9 shawl. Tempe wants a $9 shawl. I come over the hill with a $40 bill. And it's, honey, where you been so long? Honey, where you been so long? Honey, where you been so long? I've been in the pen with them rough and rowdy men. And it's honey, where you been so long? Roll on, buddy, roll on. Roll on, buddy, roll on. Wouldn't roll so slow if you knew what I know. And it's roll on, buddy, roll on. you just get the Warner Brothers people and the Rounders people to pay me a couple of $1 million off of what they owe me, I'd like music too. So, what was that song again? Rounder, I call him Square.
Ramblin Blues?
Ramblin Blues. Ramblin Blues, well, it used to be my theme song on a 13-week radio series at one time for Radio Luxembourg. Recorded in a studio in London. Ramblin Blues. Woody Guthrie song. Something like this. Rambling around your city, rambling around your town. I'll never see a friend I know as I go rambling around. Boys, as I go rambling around. My sweetheart and my parents left in my old hometown. I'm out to do the best I can as I go rambling around. Boys, as I go rambling around. The peach trees, they are loaded. The lambs are bending down. I pick 'em all day for $1, boys, as I go rambling around. As I go rambling around. My mother prayed that I would be a man of some renown. But I am just a refugee as I go rambling around. Boys, as I go rambling around.